on my bench today, cleaning up my fret press. A couple things. One, started getting pretty sloppy in operation, and which is kind of just typical of needing a cleaning. Really just needs a little love. Just go through and get her tuned up. So I'm going to take it apart and give her a little cleaning today. Re-grease it. Check and make sure I don't have anything out of place. Just from a tolerances perspective, just to keep this thing even pressure on fret inserts. I noticed one side was a little loose than the other, so just going to take it apart and see what's going on and give her a good cleaning and re-greasing. Make sure everything's okay. So here we go. So a couple of quick tips while you're fine-tuning your fret press. Something that I found that has just worked for me is getting things tightened up just enough to where they aren't overly sloppy. So as you saw earlier when I was cleaning this, there's a plate that sits on the inside that is adjusted by these two set screws, and it puts pressure, that plate, as you tighten these screws up. You loosen that nut, tighten it, and just a little back and forth game you play. It puts pressure against the side of that shaft. If it's super loose, then this thing will just, be really loose and sloppy, and it'll have a lot of play in it. Between the play and that, the play in your insert and the play in the head of your insert, so that insert that goes into the shaft like we saw earlier, that'll have play, and I've tried to minimize mine. And then this will have play in it, wiggling left and right as well. Before you know it, as you're pressing down on that and doing your insert, you'll probably notice that your frets aren't seating all the way evenly across the fret, even though I've got a brass insert in here to match the radius of the fretboard. Even though your radiuses are matching up, you've got your insert and all this matches up. After you press down, you'll be like, well, dang, how do I know how much that's off? One of the things I do is get a nice precision feeler gauge. And in this example, I got like a 2000th. And then after you do your fret press on a sample fretboard or whatever you just want to do some tests with, you can stick this under there, and you can see if this will slide under the fret on the ends or in the middle or anywhere. And what you'll find is, if that goes under there, one, just double check that you've got the right radius insert before you continue. And two, try to adjust and tighten these things up to where you get these things a little tighter. I found that when I let this go for a while and it gets really loose, all of those little wiggles kind of translate into a sloppy fret press. And I try to keep these things as tight as possible, even though it's been a couple of years since I adjusted this. So align the center of your fretboard to the center of your insert and whatever your jig is. Keep all these nice and tight and snug. I like mine to not fall on its own. So as you can see here, if I tighten this up, put it in the middle, this thing will hang just enough to where I know I've got this plate pushing up against that, just enough to hold that guy nice and snug, no sloppiness. This thing barely moves at all, if any, right now. It's nice, really nice and snug. So for me, that's worked. I'm sure guys have other tips and things that's working for them, but I've really found that works for me to help get an even insert on your fret.